everybody. Welcome to another edition of It's Just Me, of course, hosted by Brent Foxx. I am going to try to quickly do this live. Of course, as you can tell, this is a subject that I'm probably going to be primarily on tonight. Now, in boxing news, I know that Sebastian Fundora is actually having a fight on Saturday. Um, and, while I think that it's unfortunate that the fight with him and Earl Spence didn't actually surface. It's good to try to get Fondura back into action. Um, but yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. Um, having a little bit of a brain fart, but I am happy to just kind of see him back in action. And hopefully he puts on a pretty good performance. The opponent is actually going to be pretty tough. Um, so I think and not be tempted to get into those up close and personal battles. I think that he'll be okay. Um, I think that he's shown or displayed some ability to try to keep people on the outside, but it's just not consistent enough. And I hope that he had actually been working on being more consistent as time, with his time away from the ring. We will actually see. Um, Give me just a second, fellas. Got something else going on here. All right. All right. So I'm going to get to actually what I was talking about. I will discuss the boxing portion of it later. Um, I'm just kind of all over the place, so y'all have to forgive me. Um, but on to what I was actually talking about. Well, as you all pretty much know, my Steelers are struggling with their quarterback situation. So I just want to address a couple of things. The first thing is with Aaron Rodgers, um, quote unquote, having to, make an informed decision. Um, I just don't think it's in the best interest of the Pittsburgh Steelers as an organization to try and wait this one out or try to be patient with someone who has actually shown that when things, not if, when things get adverse or when things actually get rough, he is going to bury the whole organization from the top down. The coaches, the GM, other players, obviously, it's just not going to end well. I don't know why. I do understand why, from a business aspect or on paper, why the team would want to actually pick up Aaron Rodgers. But Russell Wilson is actually younger than Aaron Rodgers, and while he does not have the arm talent that Aaron Rodgers has, he does have more mobility. Um, and I can only imagine that those sack numbers against an offensive line that, let's just be honest, has struggled, and especially struggled late in the season. I don't think that he's going to hold up anyway. So why would you want to pay 30 to 40 plus million for a 42-year-old man that you know is probably not gonna have the warranty that you're gonna want for him to even be a bridge quarterback, and he's not going for that. Let's just be honest. His ego is too big for that, and he's just not gonna allow it. If we thought that Ben was a problem when we drafted Mason Rudolph, imagine this guy. Imagine how this guy is going to react if we wind up trying to draft Arch Manning next year. It's just not going to end well, and I don't understand why why we are allowing someone like this to, let's just be honest, to just kind of stall us out, um, and think that he's bigger than the team. No one should be bigger than the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And and that includes Coach Tomlin, that includes Omar Khan, that also includes Mr. Rooney. No one should be bigger than the organization. So if you already have someone that's exhibiting that behavior, I don't understand why you would maintain interest in someone like that. I have mentioned this before, I believe, on one of my other lives. I will mention this again. If we wind up signing Aaron Rodgers, I am going to do a live, and unfortunately, we'll have some choice words for my team. And as much as I stand up for and and am a massive supporter of Coach Tomlin, um, if he and I know understand that it's ultimately the decision of Mr. Rooney and also Omar Khan. Um, if no, not if when this thing implodes, if we sign him and this thing implodes, I'm definitely gonna have some pretty harsh words for our organization from the top down. Um, if this happens and things go wrong, and this man does what he normally does, which is burn everything down around him when things go badly, um, he's, I'm gonna have to be on the fire Coach Tomlin train. As much as I, as much as I would not want to be on that particular train, I would have to be on that particular train because you all know better. I will also be on the fire Omar Khan train as well because you brought him in here. Obviously, we can't say to fire Mr. Rooney. Owners do not fire themselves. Hey, salute, Jared. Thank you so much for stopping by, brother. Um, I'm just talking about the possibility of us actually hiring on Aaron Rodgers and what his tactics are at this point and why we should not sign him. But again, thank you for stopping by. My brother Jared 011 Green has a channel. It's a Southern Baller show. Please check that out. It comes on Sundays, usually 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. He also has a couple of other shows. From a black man's perspective, he and Coach 67 Sports TV, which is my other brother, are on there, along with the General, the founder of the LDBC, General 78 Sports TV. If And I also would recommend with Coach 67 Sports TV, he has a plethora of content for the Southern University. You can check his out on almost any social media platforms. He has a variety of shows talking about Southern. They also have him and Jared 011 Green also have a show talking about the Wire. I think that usually comes on Saturday mornings around maybe 9 or 10 a.m. Central Standard on YouTube. So yes, please check their content out. It is very educational and it's also entertainment. So yeah, please check out my brothers on their varieties of shows. But yeah, it definitely would be, brother. And I would probably do a live like going off. They would probably take me off YouTube for some of the things that I would probably say. But which kind of brings me to my next point. If you go ahead and bring this man on the team, knowing the dynamic of the team and how fragile that particular dynamic could be, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We already have George Pickens. There are some issues there. Um, we also, you know, we also need to figure out the running back situation. We don't know what this offensive line is going to ultimately wind up being. Um, as much as people want to give Broderick Jones a chance, as far as positioning him at his natural left tackle spot, and then letting Troy Fahatanu actually stay over there to the right and and see how that actually works. My very big concern about Broderick Jones is this. Broderick Jones has already shown that he struggles here at this particular level. Okay. And I'm not really trying to badmouth Jones. Um, we obviously need him, so why do that? But what I will say is if he struggled with help, he's going to probably struggle worse without help. Um, and I understand that there's a kick step dynamic that is probably going to, since he plays that position naturally, and I mean that position which is left tackle, if he's able to get his kick step in place, if he's able to just kind of fluidly move a little bit better on that side, if he is able, if he trains and is able to make more of an effort to consistently punch an opponent. And what I mean by punch an opponent is actually just bring your hands out very quickly, as opposed to just bringing your hands out and then driving the guy. A punch is basically just like just shooting your hands really quick and just kind of pushing that opponent back. Now, especially on passing situations, um, I just I really hope that I really hope that he turns the corner for the sake of the team, Broderick Jones. They said Troy Fahatanu actually was playing very well until the point that he actually got injured. So and then there's some film against Denver that kind of proves that point, but I I certainly am not worried about that. But I am from a health perspective about Troy Fahatanu. So I think that Fahatanu will be okay. We do have well, James Daniels is gone, but Mason McCormick, who's probably going to be the right guard, which was a fourth round draft pick, I think from South Dakota. He was Jackrabbit. Um, so wait, is that? Ah, man, I hope I got that right. I know one of them is a Jackrabbit, and the other one is like a green and gold team. But yeah, I certainly hope that Mason McCormick actually shows some improvement. And all he really has to do to quote unquote improve is just be a little bit more consistent, especially like on the passing situations and probably short yardage runs. But he was a rookie last year. You're gonna take your lumps. There's still a whole lot to learn, even in your second year. But all I'm looking for from Mason McCormick is just improvement. If he improves, I think that that right side, that entire right side of the offensive line will be okay. That left side, yeah, I'm a little worried. Even with Isaac Seumalo, who was supposed to be the best offensive lineman, he's had some moments to where he was actually shaky. Now, I do understand that this is the NFL. Everybody's talented. Um, but if we needed someone to be consistent on that offensive line, it was supposed to be Isaac Seumalo. If the guy that we're relying on to try to be consistent is struggling too, then that's not a good sign for the entire line as a whole. Now, the bright spot is Zach Frazier. He was our second round draft pick from West Virginia. He is a joy to watch, especially when he actually changes levels as far as run blocking. He gets out there and he gets after it. Like he seals this guy off really good. That wrestling background has really served him well as far as just latching onto a guy and then just being able to drive him back. Um, there have been several instances where, he's gotten to that second level, gotten hold of a guy, used leverage technique, and then sometimes even raw strength just to actually win that particular matchup against the guy that he's going against. So I look forward to Zach Frazier performing very well. Hopefully, he does not get hurt. I think that guy is definitely our future at center. So I'm not really worried about him. It's just that left side of the offensive line, and I'm not sure who we're probably going to be looking at running back. We have got Kenneth Gainwell in free agency, and then of course we've got oh my goodness, why am I drawing a blank on Jalen's last name, man? Um, that is terrible. That is terrible. So we have two capable backs. Oh my God, I feel so terrible. What is wrong with me? Um, but yeah, over here struggling, boy. This is the joys of life, man. When you mess up, you just gotta live with it and just keep going, I guess. Um, Now, of course, a huge addition to the receiving core was DK Metcalf. In a perfect world, him and George Pickens would coexist. Um, and they would be, they would have like a big boy package receiver type thing going on. Um, my big concern, my really big concern is this. You've got two big playmaking receivers, okay? But Arthur Smith is pretty much a run first type of offensive coordinator, and I am deathly afraid that Arthur may not be able to adjust the passing game to try to highlight the strengths of both DK Metcalf and George Pickens for now. Um, and I think that George Pickens will probably stick around, but yeah, I really hope that there is some type of scheme or setup to where you're able to kind of adjust or use the highlights of your or use the strengths, excuse me, I'm sorry, of your big playmaking receivers. You got two big playmaking receivers. We have got to create a package that actually highlights these guys' talent. Um, I would probably look for more 11 personnel, and what that basically means is one running back, one tight end. Um, so we could probably put somebody like Calvin Austin in the slot to where he can just basically make plays towards the middle of the field. Um, he would be a nightmare matchup for any slot corner that's trying to cover him because of his speed. And Calvin Austin has actually improved his route running, which makes him more dangerous. So I think that if you have a combination of those three receivers, excuse me, you have DK Metcalf at the X, you have excuse me, you got Calvin Austin at the slot, and then you have George Pickens at a Z position, and the Z is just basically the receiver where the tight end is. I think that could be potentially a nightmare matchup for any opposing defense. Hang on just a second.
Look, it's you. It's you, Daddy.
Okay,
I
thank you,
see
son.
you.
Yes,
I
and I see you too.
no.
All right. Yep. Never know what happens on the live, right? Anyway, yeah, they that would be a nightmare for defenses if utilized properly. I'm not sure whether or not we would be able to have a scheme or set up properly to kind of adjust to their abilities. And that's because Arthur Smith, again, is a run first type of offensive coordinator. I certainly hope that we do pick up a good running back in the draft. I think a lot of what I'm getting is that we've been looking at the Iowa running back, Caleb Johnson. Even though he ran like a 4.57 in the combine, I don't think that means a whole lot. I think that if he's able just to do or replicate some of what he did at Iowa as a Hawkeye, then I think that he'll be okay. Um, I also would like to, and this is a personal preference of mine. I would also like to try to see if we could pick up somebody like Devin Neal, who was a Kansas Jayhawks running back. Um, I really like Devin Neal because of his shiftiness, his vision. He has he actually has some sneaky strength. Like there have been some moments to where Devin Neal has literally carried a guy in the end zone. There has been some times where he actually ran someone flat over. Um, there has been some times where he actually had displayed very good contact balance, where he got hit pretty solidly, stayed up, and then got more yardage. There's also instances where he was very, very explosive, um, and getting long runs when seemingly the holes were actually about to close up, but he hit it just in time to get maximum yardage. Yeah, yeah. I like Devin Neal too, Jared. We'll go back and forth on that all day. Again, Devin Neal kind of reminds me of another back that we used to have, that kind of revolutionized the running game. He was also shifty. He was also deceptively strong, and obviously he was explosive. He was an explosive playmaker. So shouts out to Liv Bell. Um, but yeah, I would hope that we would pick him up, but I wouldn't be too mad at us picking up a running back um, like Caleb Johnson. Um, I wouldn't actually be upset either if we picked up somebody. Um, what's the kid from Tennessee? Samson. If we picked him up, I wouldn't be too mad at that either. The Virginia Tech running back is actually pretty good. Um, I actually like my boy from Texas Tech, Taj. I was gonna say Taj Boyd. Yeah, Taj. No, Taj Brooks. Taj Brooks. Taj Boyd is somebody else. Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. He reminds me of like an old school 90s or early 2000s running back. He's compact, very strong, has great vision. Um, excuse me. He's fast enough. He's not a blazer, but he's fast enough. His explosion towards openings is very good. Deceptively quick feet. Very good contact balance. Very good contact balance. So guys like that would just kind of help bring and I'm sure that Arthur Smith would like a guy like that too, since he's so run oriented. I think that Arthur Smith would actually love having Taj Brooks in his backfield, running the ball. Um, I think that he would actually complement Jalen very well. Um, and I think that excuse me, I think that Omarion Hampton, I like him, but you just got rid of a guy that that basically ran just like him. To be quite honest with you, and shouts out to Najee Harris. Okay, um, I am quite frankly sick and tired of some of these local guys in Pittsburgh, and I'm not in Pittsburgh. I'm in Dallas, Texas. But some of the local reporters in Pittsburgh are feeling some sort of way because Najee alluded to something about the training facilities being better, or Najee actually alluded to saying that he didn't have anyone to actually go to on offense after Ben left because everybody was pretty much either a rookie like him or maybe a second or third year player, and they're still trying to figure it out. Where's the lie? What is he lying about? Like, I think Kenny was actually drafted after him. Kenny Pickett was drafted after him, and that's the quarterback. That's supposed to be the leader of the offense. But if the guy's drafted after him, what are you gonna tell him? Like, I don't understand why some of us are so bent out of shape over something like that. The man's not lying. Like, and then people are quick to forget this man was extremely professional when we did not re-sign his 5th year option. He didn't say anything bad about the organization. He didn't even say that he was upset about it. He said that it was just a thing that happened, and he's just gonna move on, and either way, he's gonna be good. Like, let that man move on to something else. To be quite honest with you, I mean, I do my hashtag thank you 22 on my comments when it comes to Najee, and I've also done a video, just saying that we appreciate Najee for what he's actually done for our organization, and that I sincerely wish him the best on wherever he goes, and that happened to be the LA Chargers. And to be quite honest, since we just talking real, I hope that he kicks our ass when we actually play the Los Angeles Chargers. I want him to beat the fucking brakes off of us. Um, when we play. I think that yes, to Najee's point, I don't think that we utilize Najee correctly. I think that we put him in very predictable and then bad situations, to where he's literally fighting for every inch of yardage that he could actually get. Like, and then we're behind, and I don't want the guys to take this the wrong way, but we're behind an inconsistent offensive line. Uh, we are inconsistent. I'm not going to trash my offensive line, but I will say that we are struggling from time to time, and I will say that we are inconsistent. Um, so there's no lie in that. It's just what it is. We're inconsistent. Um, but I think that if we are able to just gain some consistency, and that does actually come with time, and I get that. That we'll probably be okay. I just I honestly would like for us to just kind of leave Najee alone on that. To be quite honest with you, I mean, I don't know what else you expect this man to do. And since he's actually moved on, I think that we should just appreciate what he did and move on ourselves. So, in the spirit of moving on, um, I'll just go ahead and just try to wrap it up with this. Um, I believe that it may, I'm just saying that it just may be this upcoming season that we may not do well. To be quite honest, I think that some of the moves that we've actually made, of course, the big splash with DK Metcalf was a huge positive in the right direction as far as receiver. But if we have no reliable quarterback, and this is no disrespect to Mason, if we have no reliable quarterback to get DK and George Pickens the ball, and have an offensive scheme to actually complement the talents of both receivers and our tight end, then I don't know how well we're actually going to wind up doing on offense. And to again be honest about the situation, I look for us to regress. Okay. I think that this will probably wind up being a losing season. And I sincerely hope that, those people that were complaining about, oh, well, we never do anything in the playoffs, they realize what the other side actually looks like. I'm still going to be a fan. I'm still going to hang in there. I've seen 5-11. I've seen, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've seen 5-11. I've seen 6-10. So, I'm still going to be here. The question is, will some of you, after things don't go well, I look for this season not to be a great season, and I certainly hope that we will be able to just kind of reconstruct and build um, off of this particular coming season. I'm going to just try to be a realistic fan about it. I would really like for us to try to re-sign Russell Wilson. I do not know if that is possible at this point. I think, to be quite honest with you, Russ probably feels unwelcome and he just wants to move on himself. He may wind up signing up with the Giants. I really don't see him signing with the Browns. But I think that he'll go ahead and try to sign with the Giants because they're probably going to offer a lot more money. And he'll have a chance to, if this is projected correctly, he'll have a chance to just kind of be a bridge to Shador Sanders and be able to move on. And plus, New York is a big market. It goes without saying his Russell's wife is Sierra, who is a bona fide entertainer, and that would probably serve both of them well. So we'll see. Um, Bubba Dub was talking crazy, talking about we need to try and trade for Kirk Cousins, sir. I mean, I enjoy your entertainment, man, but woo, that was a that was a swing and a miss, my brother. That was a swing and a miss. I don't mean no disrespect behind that or nothing like that. I'm not one of these internet trolls that get on here and start talking about other people and trying to down them and all of that. That's not me. I just disagree with what you said, very respectfully though. But I disagree with what you said because that really don't make any kind of sense. It don't make good business sense. It don't make no. Wouldn't make sense for the team either. I don't think that the dynamic here, and what I mean by that is like the team dynamic, like the group of guys would probably attach themselves well to Kirk Cousins like that. I don't think that that would actually work out. Um, Especially with the re-signing of Mason Rudolph, because as soon as Kirk does something wrong, everybody gonna start looking for Mason to just try to get in. So you know, I I would probably say to that's not a good idea. And obviously Bubba Dub's not a Steelers fan, so um, which is okay. So he doesn't really understand the dynamic of the team. But and again, this is not a diss, Mr. Dub. I'm just explaining that, there's a team dynamic that goes on, and in order for a team to perform well, everybody has to be on the same page, and I don't see that with Kirk Cousins. And if we not finna pay Russell Wilson again, what make you think that we finna pay out Kirk Cousins? Like that's not I don't even think that's an option, sir. So I mean, I appreciate the suggestion, but not really. I damn, I just don't want to sound like one of these trolls that's actually trying to get attention or something. That's not me. I'm a real life person. I don't participate in all that. When I cut this camera off and go on with my real life, that's what I do. I don't live on the internet looking for problems. Um yeah, yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm ashamed that Charleston White actually comes from the Dallas Fort Worth area. Like, yeah, I get that he was an activist back in the day and all of that good stuff, but now he's just talking crazy about people and all that. That's not somebody that I want to be even remotely close to being associated with. Like, if you can't get things off your own merit, like if you can't if you can't build yourself up just based off of you, you gotta talk bad about other people, and that's how you get attention. That's just not right to me. But then again, um, I'm a real person. Like this is it's just me. It's just that. It's really just me talking. Um, and man, I feel like I'm finna just keep going off the deep end. I don't want to do that, man. I'm going off subject here. Let me just go ahead and just wrap this up by saying this. Um, I I don't think that I don't think that it's a good idea for the Pittsburgh Steelers to actually subjugate themselves to wait for someone like Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that it's a good idea for us to try to seek out Kirk Cousins. That's not a great idea at all. Um, I would really like for us to be able to re-sign Russell Wilson. If that doesn't happen, then I guess we'll have to understand as fans. But I also understand that this may not turn out to be a very good season this coming season either. And I think the sooner that we are in touch with reality as Steelers fans, I think the better off we'll be when this actually happens. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Foxx. Um, look for more content hopefully next Thursday. And when I say hopefully, I just kind of mean that you never know. You never know what kind of goes on in real life. So I certainly hope to be back here next Thursday doing the show again. Hopefully around this time as well. Well, all right, y'all. Thanks again for hanging in there with me and tuning in to It's Just Me. Again, please check out my brother's content, Jared 11 Green. He has a show called The Southern Baller Show. Comes on Sundays, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, usually on YouTube. He also has some other shows on YouTube, which kind of feature and then highlight um, the Wire series. I believe that usually comes on Saturday mornings, probably around 10 a.m. Um, there's also From a Black Man's Perspective, very powerful show. I would recommend checking that out. That comes on YouTube as well. My brother, Coach 67 Sports TV. Again, please check him out. He has a whole variety of shows that he does. The shows that I've mentioned before, he does with my brother Jared 11 Green. Um, so he does a whole, and he's actually one of the best. No, I'm sorry. He's the best content creator for the Southern University. Okay, that is what he does best. He creates content for the Southern University. Okay, home of the Mighty Jaguars. See how that's drilled in my head? I don't even like the Southern Jaguars, but he got that drilled in my head, man. That's that's how it's working. Um, and then there are several other LDBC members that you would want to check out their content as well. Check out our content from our founder, 78 Sports TV. He usually has his shows on YouTube around 10 a.m. weekday mornings. But he has a plethora of shows as well. But again, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna head on out. Deuces.